Welcome to the channel, guys. So what I'm going to do in this video is actually talk about what a Mustang GT Performance Pack Edition is like to drive and own. I owned a Mustang GT PP for just over a year, many years back. This obviously isn't my car, this is an extremely modified car, but it's great here to have this for the purposes. So obviously Ford decided in 2015 that they were going to bring the Mustang to the UK officially. And what that meant is that the UK got its first ever right-hand drive Mustang. And the UK cars came out in 2015, which is the S550 chassis Mustang. And what we got was a 5-litre V8. In the US, it made about 426 horsepower, but because of obviously taking the steering wheel from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, they did have to change the manifolds, which basically resulted in a slight power loss. So the UK cars make around 410 to 415 horsepower. It's a quad cam 32 valve V8 engine. It's designated the Coyote. It's actually an amazing engine. It's normally V8s, the American V8s, they're normally done by 6,000 RPM, but the V8 in this car will just it'll rev all the way to 7,000 RPM. It's a really high revving V8 for an American V8. So we're going to pop the hood, but this is not what one looks like standard. This is supercharged. And I'm not going to go into too much detail on this exact car for the simple reasons that I will do an actual review of this car and all of its modifications. I'm not going to put the strut up. So obviously this is not standard. In fact, there's pretty much nothing standard underneath here on this one. I say as standard, there is no supercharger. It is a naturally aspirated 5-litre V8 making about 410 horsepower in the UK. This has got a Whipple on it, 2.9-litre supercharger. This car it is actually making 727 horsepower, wait for it, actually at the back wheels. So it's about 850-ish at the crank. But I'm going to close that up now because it's not really what we're trying to... I'm going to tell you what it's like to own a stock Mustang GT PP. And that's that closed, Poppy. So obviously, just very quickly, they don't look like this either. This car has all original Ford GT350 kit on it. All the panels, all the suspension, everything you see is original GT350. So for talking about a Mustang GT PP, doesn't really look like this, but they're dead easy to know what they look like. Google is your friend. But I'm going to get into about what they're like to actually own and drive. So we talked about the engine. 0 to 60 is about 4.8 seconds on the completely stock car. You did have the option of a 6-speed automatic and a 6-speed manual transmission. We'll just walk around now and I'll get in the car and I'll talk a bit about the manual. So one of the really good things about the S550 Mustang is it got the MT82 transmission. Now, some of the purists in America will moan about this because it's not a Tremec, but it's actually a really good transmission. Now, again, this car being heavily modified, this has an MGK short shifter, but the actual stock setup is pretty good. But as you can see, this is an MGK. It is super slick, super close. But the stock transmission is a really good it's a surprise that, obviously. The great thing about the Mustang is that it's obviously compared to its European rivals, you could argue that, you know, the interior is maybe not up to Audi, BMW quality, but I'm in disagreement with that because, yeah, okay, maybe some of the finishing touches are not quite as good quality, but this interior, I think, is a really nice place to be. It's properly retro, and I love stuff like this where, obviously, because this is a full-on GT350 build, essentially, apart from not having the flat plane crank V8, but it's supercharged. So it's got all of this here. But all of this is nice. You've got, let me see if we can get a bit of power going on here. I don't want the radio to kick in. You get the pony come up. And the infotainment system as well on this car. You'll have to excuse the beeps because obviously we're not running. And it's something it will do a lot. It's got, this is what they call Sync 2. But it has a shaker sound system in it. So you've got a subwoofer in the boot. I'm just going to shut the car up so it stops beeping at us, or attempt to. So the sound system is really good. You've got not just heated seats, you've also got cooled seats. That's probably not so much in this edition with these beautiful Recaro seats in, but the standard car actually has air-conditioned seats as well. But I think obviously that's been lost due to these GT350 seats. But everything about the car, these toggle switches here, they're like an aluminium plastic finish, but they're really good where you can adjust your steering feel and your mode. So basically you've got like normal, sport, race and wet, which basically is just making the throttle that bit more aggressive as you go through the different modes and laxing the traction control system slightly. You've got steering, which is basically like Comfort, Sport and Sport Plus. It's just basically making the steering feel heavier. And then if you're brave enough, you can obviously turn the traction control off. So you've got full air conditioning. The air conditioning is amazing in this car. You've got nice original dials. Bryony wants to come around the other side. I'll power the car up briefly again so she can see these dials in use. Because this example hasn't got the updated dash in, and in a way it's all the better for it, because if I turn this on, you've got proper analog dials, which again I think is a really nice thing to have. So you've got your rev counter. Like I say, it's a Coyote V8, excuse the beeps. It will rev. You could actually rev this engine to 8,000 RPM. I did do that in mine, but I will speak about that in a separate video I'm going to do about what are the best modifications for Mustang GT PP. So the engine's great fun. You've got all your original dials, you've got all your great lights, you've got plenty of storage as well on one of these. So you've got quite a large glove box, you've got door pockets, and of course you've got back seats, which if you've got very slim adults, you could squeeze them in. Let me, or if you've got a very small driver, then you could get an adult back there, but they're namely more for children or very small people. So that's really like the interior of the car. I'm going to get out so that Bryony can get a better shot of that interior without me in the way. And yeah, just like take a walk around the car really. I mean, obviously this car's got the full GT350 kit. Another great thing about a Mustang, I will just retrieve the key. You do have a reversing camera as well on the Mustang GT PP because it is a big car. That's letting me know I've left the windows open. So there's the boot. It is a large boot, but the actual opening to the boot is quite an awkward size. So if you've got like a really big suitcase, you're actually going to struggle to get it in there just because of this arch opening. As I mentioned, the really good sound system. You can see the subwoofer built into the side there, shaker sound system in this. And you've got, let me make sure that's, you've got some beautiful things. You can see like the rear lights from like a 60s Mustang. And that it's got beautiful iconic details. If we go around the car, if we you've got the you got your turn signals here as well in the front, which on the American cars are sequential. We've got turn signals down here. You've got a beautiful large opening. And yeah, I mean, the S550 and Mustang GT PP is about a 1,700 kilos car. So yeah, it's not a lightweight car, but it's not really any heavier than what a modern European sports Grand GT style car is. So it's not like, oh, American cars are overweight. This is no heavier than any other modern European car, but it is a big car. I mean, if you look at these, I mean, I can't reach over that. I mean, the E30 here, you can pretty much get to the other side of that, but that's an old car. But yeah, and then it's like the brakes are fantastic. Even on the standard car, the brakes are fantastic because they've got Brembo calipers up front, even on the standard ones. Of course, this one's got the full GT350 conversion. So it's got the hubs, it's got the GT350 brakes, front and rear. So yeah, the stopping power of this one is incredible. But even the standard car stops really, really nice. And I say, they came out in 2015, they ran until 2017 in the UK, and then they got a major facelift. And one of the main things about the major facelift, something that was introduced, was a magnetic suspension, Magna Ride option, which is a really great option to get because it really does improve the handling a lot, and you got about 440 horsepower. But what I'm going to talk about obviously now is the Mustang GT PP. The performance is great, the engine is great fun, it's a very exciting car. It's all about fun, the Mustang, and it is a lot of fun to drive. But in stock performance pack trim in the UK, I guess you could describe the handling and the feel as somewhat woolly. It's average at best. It's not a BMW M4, M3 rival out of the box. But the beauty of Mustangs is that these things are a modder's dream, and I will be making another video talking about what are the best handling and grip mods for the S550 chassis Mustang. I will link to that video at the end. But yeah, out of the box, the handling is almost, there's not enough rebound on the stock performance pack dampers. So the car tends to bounce quite a lot, especially from the rear. You get quite a lot of bounce, and obviously the steering is quite numb on the factory car. But it is really all about fun in one of these. I'm just going to just quickly check my notes to make sure that I haven't missed anything important off. Of course, you know, the Mustang is a huge icon in the USA. You know, it's probably the most famous of all the American GT fastback sports cars, as they like call them in the US, and to finally now have it in the UK right-hand drive is truly incredible. Styling obviously is amazing. It is a car that's just full of coolness. It's like, I guess if it was on the Top Gear board that they used to do back in the day, you'd be putting it in the Sub-Zero category. It's just such a cool car, and it's great that the sun's actually hitting this triple yellow paintwork just briefly at the moment. So I mean, but definitely the best colour to get a Mustang in is triple yellow. It's a very happy car, and you know, as Chris Harris said in his review as well many years ago, because obviously when I owned this car, I bought one brand new in 2015, it's 2025 now, so I am trying to remember about 10 years ago when I owned this car for over a year and extensively modified it, not this actual car, but my own one. My personal one was magnetic grey. But yeah, it's a car that is a lot of fun, and even though it can't maybe quite compete with European rivals out the box, it should never be ashamed of itself, because it actually does a remarkably good job at that. And well, I bought one of these over the equivalent BMW, and so did many of my friends, and it's just simply because it is such a cool car. Also, what's worth note, when I mentioned that they did the facelift after 2017-18, there was a really cool edition that got released, and if I was to buy a Mustang again, it would probably be this exact edition, and that's the Bullet. And anybody who's watched that famous Steve McQueen movie will know exactly what I'm on about. The famous car chase with the Mustang and the Dodge Charger, I think it is. Don't think it was a Challenger, I think it was a Charger. And they did do a recreation of the Bullet on the 2018 onwards. So you got the Magna Ride suspension, you got the slightly more power, and it's in the beautiful, cannot remember, I think it's Highland Green. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think it was Highland Green. Beautiful car, had like the Bullet symbol on the rear boot here. So yeah, absolutely beautiful car. They had an issue on the very early cars, which my car did suffer from, and that issue was that the oil coolers, they had a bad batch of oil coolers which sprung a leak, and my car did suffer from that, but Ford addressed it, and it was all addressed pretty quick. Apart from that, I'm not aware of any other issues, and this car is actually testament to reliability here, because it's knocking out it's knocking out more than twice the horsepower it came out the factory with. And my mate who owns this, you know, he properly enjoys it, and I don't think he's really had any reliability issues. But in regards to cost now, brand new in 2015, I paid £35,000 for a brand new Mustang GT PP. That was 10 years ago, brand new car. If I still owned that car today, and let's say I had about 50,000 miles on it, I would probably be able to sell it very easily for £25,000. So to lose 10 grand, that's £1,000 a year. To have 50,000 miles, 5,000 miles a year of pure enjoyment, depreciation in these, if you got in them early, was pretty much non-existent. Very, very good car to get into. And now they're a great second-hand buy, because you can get a Mustang GT Performance Pack for 25,000 If you want the one, dare I say it, to many Mustang owners, it's a swear word, but you could also get this edition of Mustang with the 2.3 litre EcoBoost engine. But I'm not going to really talk about that, because if you're buying a Mustang, I'm all about the V8. I don't even care. Yeah, you can tune that EcoBoost and you can probably make it faster than what a stock V8 is, but I don't care. I want that epic soundtrack. You know, on my car, I had a Corsa Extreme Exhaust. I will try to put a video clip on this of what mine sound like with that Corsa exhaust on. It sounds incredible. So yeah, V8 all the way. Fuel wise, you're probably going to be doing averaging around 17 to 19 miles to the gallon. You will see about 30 miles to the gallon on a long run, because 6th gear on this is an overdrive, so it's not too bad on a long run. But if you start to enjoy the car, then it's very easy to get that into the low teens. But reliability wise, I had no issues with the car at all, apart from that initial oil cooler leak. But Ford did get it sorted. It took a while, because mine was the first car in the UK to have it fail, and then quite a few more happened to fail. But fantastic cars. As I say, it's all about the engine in these. That they're quick, they rev nice, they sound beautiful. The steering is direct and nice, but it does lack feel. Handling, again, like I said, it's kind of they are capable, but they do require some skill. They do require a good palate, but they are woolly, and there is a lot of bounce on the stock suspension. But you can fix all of that. Like I say, they are a modification dream. Because basically out the box the body control is a bit poor, but like I say, you can fix all of that. But it's just a car that's all about fun and great value for money. This is more of a quick review, because obviously it is 10 years ago. It's not all permanently fresh in my memory. It's been beautiful weather in the UK, but today is actually pretty freezing for whatever reason. But I want to just give you a quick walk around. Anyone's thinking of they've got a budget of up to 25 grand and they want a car that's an iconic car. You know, the Mustang's probably right up there with the Porsche 911. It's one of the world's most iconic cars. For me, this, I mean, I don't want to offend, because obviously I've got my OD30 next to it, but when it comes to modern cars, I'd take one of these every day, every time, over a modern M car. That's just me. That's just my mentality. I do love an American V8. They're extremely comfy as well. In standard factory trim, even though that suspension can be a bit bouncy, these cars are very comfy. You've got your air conditioning, your heat seats. They're really comfy. You go anywhere, you've got plenty of room. I'm going to wrap the video up there. Anyone's got any questions, feel free to say. I'm going to make a video about what are the best modifications for your Mustang GT Performance Pack in the UK, and I'll go through each modification in detail. I will talk, and then I will do another video actually reviewing this car in detail and going through all of its modification detail, because this car is crazy. You know, this car's had everything done. So I'm going to wrap the video up there. As always, thank you for watching. Please do like, and please do subscribe to the channel.